Hey everybody, this is Jeff Wilson, and this is video 2 of my short series of helping you guys level up to be ready for the woman of your dreams. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about goal setting for men who want more. So we'll talk about a few different areas, about some differences between some goals, outcome goals versus process goals, and identity-based goals, which is really important. Distinctions to be made in order to really realize what may be hanging you up in the area of like fitness or health, and such like that. And then we'll just kind of talk about a couple of benchmarks that you can work through to um, kind of better understand maybe like a roadmap to what you might be able to do. Now, this isn't obviously going to hit on your personal situation to a T. I'm obviously being very general with um, how to goal set in the areas of like your fitness world, maybe nutritional changes, this, that, and the other. But I'm not going to go into like specific goals for nutrition in this area. It's more just talking about the general kind of differences between what type of goals most likely you're setting now that most likely is hanging you up in terms of like your long-term success, or even if depending on where you're at in these areas, you may just be this might just be a good reminder to go, oh right, I haven't really written these goals down in a while. Whatever. I've learned over the years with my running and my coaching in every facet that the majority of clients that do their best with me are the ones that actually write stuff down and kind of keep track of things. You don't have to be anal about it. I think a lot of people think when they look at nutrition plans, like they have to have everything figured out and they have to like track their macros constantly. There's a time and a place for those things. You know, calories in, calories out is a thing that works for like weight loss as well as weight gain if you're trying to gain a certain amount of muscle or what have you, whether it's just personal aesthetic goals and you just want to look better, or it's a performance based thing. Yes, those things matter, but in terms of just if you just want to be generally more fit and you want a better life, you want more energy, you just want to feel good, this, that, and the other, it's like for the most part you don't need to go down to those grave details. So anyway, let's go into outcome goals versus process goals. When you're thinking about outcome goals, you're looking at, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds, right? Whatever that number may be. Hey, you want to bench a certain amount. I want to uh, start eating a certain type of food more. Like most people, just generally speaking, as a tip that I talk about with people a lot, is most people need to drink more water and healthy, like spring water, as odd as that may sound. Especially, at least speaking from being in America, our water supply is clean in terms of like we're not going to get diseases all the time, that type of thing, but it's not necessarily electrolyte focused. And I know a lot of people haven't really heard that much before. Maybe it's something you focused on, but most people just drink tap water and kind of go with it. I won't go deeper into that today because that's a whole nother bag of issues. But just think of those outcome goals are just something you're just trying to aim at. I want to run in a certain time. I want to bench this. I want to lose this. Whereas process goals, okay, are like, how am I going to get to that outcome? What do I need to do to lose the 20 pounds? Well, first of all, just take where you're at and then look at your life and your schedule. Like, what is realistic? Like, how much could you actually, if you're going from zero workouts, zero time in the gym, you haven't done a nutrition plan ever, or it's been a long time. Let's just say right now you're like starting from scratch. The likelihood that you have the right roadmap is pretty low just by like thinking I want to do a certain thing or that you want to do a certain thing. And the majority of the problems that I find that people run into is not necessarily that they don't know what to do. Like most of these main things to get better, like more consistent in the gym or whatever, is like most people know that they need to eat more vegetables. Like that's another one of the first things I go through with people, especially if they want to lose weight or they kind of maybe have some health issues, they're not feeling good. And then especially once you start getting over like 40, 50 years old, these things become even more important because you may not even be able to take in as much volume of food as you age. The body just changes sometimes, appetite changes. You might be overly stressed at work. And the amount of certain things that you put in your body, even as just simplistically as just saying more vegetables or more fruit, is pretty important. But anyway, my point with that was the majority of people don't really ever make a plan. And so it's really important to think about outcome goals versus process goals, because even though it's as simple just to know the differences, it's not easy to then go do that. And without a roadmap, as obvious as this sounds hearing me say it, if you don't have a roadmap to what to do, especially if you've never done it before and you have no idea what to do, the likelihood that 2-3 months later you start to detract and your habits start to go back to where you were before is so high. I don't remember the percentages off the top of my head, like like as far as research goes, but it's substantial enough to where, like, if it doesn't motivate you, like, you probably got to dig a little deeper up here. But one of the main goals I want to talk about today is identity-based goals. Okay, so I mentioned this briefly in the last video, but one of the main things I'm going to harp on for the reasons why you guys are all here. Obviously, I don't know any of you individually, and the first 25 people that listen to this might be in already really good shape or something like that, or they only want to lose 10 pounds and kind of lean up, or maybe a lot of you want to lose a lot of weight. I don't know, but either way, if you end up feeling like some of the things I say in these videos are important to you, and or it's like you have to change to really like find the wife that you want someday, I hope that's, generally speaking, enough motivation. But I think some of the why that's deep in the soul is, who do I need to become? So the identity-based goals is more important than, in my opinion, as any other goal. I'm sure that could be argued, but if you don't know why you're going to that place, or why you want to make this roadmap to this 20 pounds lost, and if it's not in depth, like if you haven't actually really sat down and and like had some deep thought about it, at some point you're probably not going to feel as motivated, which another video I will do is going to talk about motivation. So there'll be a little bit of overlap with a couple of these topics because it's so important. But if you don't really know who you want to become, you're just thinking outcome-based goals. It's just simply, I want this type of woman, I want to make this amount of money, and this and the other. It's like, that's great. That's where you start. That's where you dream. But if you don't know not only how to get there, but you don't know who you want to become, you just think that these things represent this person. But it's like, if you don't know what that actually looks like and feels like, it's one thing to just simply not know, but it's another thing to just kind of ignore the, how do you get to A to Z here? And hopefully that makes sense, but you want to write down things of like how you want to feel. Like when you take your shirt off right now, are you happy and comfortable with that? And that might be part of your identity here. Instead of just, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds. It might be like, okay, I want to feel confident in the bedroom, and I don't right now. That's a huge deal. I mean, like, it's so easy to overlook that and just think those outcome-based goals. It's like, well, yeah, if I do those things, I'll feel this way. It's like, probably, but if you kind of always feel detached to your goals, most likely that's going to be felt by the woman you're with, but more importantly, at some point, it's going to be felt by you. And at the end of the day, you are the most important person in your life. You may have kids, and if you get married again, obviously this person becomes a huge important piece of your life. But if you don't take care of you and you don't become the best man you can become, to some degree, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter everything else, but like, most likely that's going to come out in ways that you don't like. And you'll probably backtrack, especially when it's like a weight loss thing, getting in the gym, just keeping good habits, because you haven't attached what you truly want and why, as well as you're not really attaching to becoming the man that basically those goals need to, how do I say this? You're not really ready to become the man that is needed for those things to be done. A lot of people in the weight loss world or just fitness world, they just look at this thing. They look at this one thing and they kind of harp on it. And so people will go to the ends of the earth and spend a lot of money and not really ever get to where they want to go, or they hit it once in a while and backtrack because they tried to do something quick. They tried to like skip steps, and sometimes that works for a little bit of time. I mentioned that in the last video. But for the most part, like, let's say you're a 40-year-old man, you got a lot of life left probably. Do you want to become the man that you see some other people and you're like, oh, I want to be that? Well, it's like, okay, again, go back to the why and start start dwindling that down. I could repeat this 100 times over, but to save time, we're going to move on. So some easy practical ways to work through this. This is the more simplistic part of the video, is make just basically small trackable wins. Like when you start any of these new things, or you just haven't in a while, or you don't track anything, and you may work out 5 days a week and eat well and stuff like that. But if there's other pieces missing in just trying to do the things that we're talking about today, I would just say look for small trackable wins. So you can get the outcome goals starting to be a little bit more organized. So like basically just like meals tracked, workouts completed, because this builds a momentum and a self-trust that you're going to keep showing up because you're making a note to go, hey, I've done these things. And when you start getting several weeks of that in a row, I'm telling you, the power behind that is huge. As a runner, I always kept track of the things, or like the amount of miles I ran and this, that, and the other. And being able to see that is really important. It doesn't maybe seem like it in the moment, but then you can like look back. You can track where mistakes were made. You can track what you could do better. You can bring that to a coach and say, hey, here's what I've done. Why am I not getting anywhere? There's several reasons why this is very important. But to finish, I'll just kind of say with a more motivational thing, like this stuff that I'm talking about, as easy as I'm making it sound, and simplistic too. This stuff isn't rocket science, but this is what separates the men from the boys. And it's hard. I know, so like some people might be laughing and going, oh, it's not hard to track this stuff, or, I'm in great shape. This stuff isn't hard. For me, I'm a trainer for a reason. This stuff comes easy to me mostly, but the mindset stuff never comes easy. Becoming the man you want to become and the one that you want to emulate from anything from a movie just to like somebody that in your life, or the person you envision that can get a Ukrainian, Eastern European wife. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think it's easy to date at all nowadays. And that woman wants the man that you're thinking of. And if that's not motivation enough for you, hopefully the next video, I think the very next video is going to be on motivation. Hopefully we'll be able to dive into that, and feel free once we start posting this to shoot a message to me. I'd love to chat. But men who level up are the ones that separate, the men from the boys. And so I'm just going to leave you with that. Hopefully you gain something from this, but the immediate thing I want you to do is just start tracking some stuff in your life and see what happens. Journal about it a little bit if that's something you like to do, and then just go out there and start slaying some dragons. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.